WRPB Studios. Okay, so I'm a pet person, love my animals, but last year I had two strokes and it put me in a position that I didn't want to get a dog for a while. And one of the reasons is that being a caring person, when I walk my dog, I needed to clean up after my dog, and that would have been way too much work for me to do because of the strokes. And I didn't know that there was an answer. So with me is Robert, and you are with.
Backyard poop scoopers.
Okay, so you are the ones that don't follow, but come behind the pets and clean up after them.
Yes, basically, people like yourself, for example, they usually let their dogs out in the backyard to take care of their
Right.
business. And if the pet's lucky, they go for walks, and that's always a joy picking up behind them on the walk. But most of the time, we let them out the back door. And eventually, your backyard becomes a yard full of doggy landmines that you may have to traverse once in a while. And, well, I just kind of save you the effort. Once a week, I come by your house. I remove all the waste from the backyard and dispose of it. So basically, you and your pet have a free, clean area to take care of whatever you need to take care of.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this question.
Hmm.
Why the heck did you decide to do this?
Uh, well, like most everything, it's a frustration issue. I had a teenage child, and I would ask him to. I'm busy working, so I said, "Can you please clean the backyard?" And I'd find out either he would not do it, could not do it, forgot to do it, did it not so well. All the excuses in the world that you can get from a young teenage boy. And I said, sometimes you should do it yourself. Well, doing it myself, not a big deal. I don't mind. I spent most of my life looking at the ground and picking up things that were considered dangerous anyway. So, after a little consideration about it, I wanted to start my own business. And said, well, I'm not getting any older, and I know a lot of people don't want to have to think
Actually, you're
about
not
the
getting
dogs.
any younger.
Now I'm trying to get not getting older right now.
Yeah, we can't get around that for some
Yeah,
reason.
no, if you keep busy, time slows down. So when you stop working, that's when everything speeds up on you, I think.
I can never stop working.
See, there you go. So you're trying to slow that process down.
I've had a heart attack and bypass. I had two strokes last year, and I'm still working.
And a lot of people are, unfortunately, these days. So, like I said, for people who don't have the time or the energy or the patience to go around their whole yards all the time, this is something that can help them out. And along with that, we do walking sometimes, or sometimes even what I call fur baby sleepovers, where basically we bring your dog into our house and treat them as a regular family member, and they get to hang out with the other dogs and have fun. Or in some cases, if they want to be left alone, we have a special place for them to.
How many dogs do you have?
Currently, I have three.
Okay, what kind of dogs?
I have two of them that are Yorkie mixes and
Okay.
one Cavalier.
Okay, Yorkie mixes are cats because they're no bigger than my cats are bigger than them.
No, they're very small. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that leads me into the guy who lets his dog out in the yard, and that when that Great Dane goes out in the yard, okay. So is it? And I have my own mind answer. Is it easier to pick up a yard where they have a big dog or a little dog?
Well, it's actually two sides of the coin, so to speak. The big dog is easier because you can find it much easier.
Right.
But I have one of my customers actually has two Great Danes, and sometimes you need a bigger scooper for that. They may have to make multiple trips. However, little ones are easy, but takes a
Yeah.
long time to find it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're small. They hide in the grass, and
Right. Depending on how high you keep the grass in your yard, could
mhm,
make it kind of difficult.
right. And that's the other thing too. We have lots of people here that don't want to cut their grass. They hire services to cut their grass, and services really don't want to run over all that in your yard. They don't like it stuck in their tires. It smells and everything else.
Yep.
So a lot of services have asked me, hey, can you come to this house over here and clean up before we show up there? As well, it's up to the owner, of course, but it helps them too, so they don't have to, run it over and splatter it everywhere else.
Well, common sense would tell me that if I'm going to invite people over for a barbecue, I don't want that in my yard.
Hmm.
And even if it's in a different area of the yard, it brings flies
Yeah.
and smells.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Disposal of waste has been a problem since, well, early Rome figured out some of the problems, but pet waste is still a problem that we deal with personally, or now we can hire somebody else to take care of it. Like we hire the pool guy to take care of your pool, you hire the grass guy to cut your grass, and now you got somebody to clean up after your pet or as needed for walking, like I said.
So, is there a special way to dispose of poop from animals?
Well, the preferred method is to remove it to the waste sites because landfills are now lined, and so that's the preferred method. Basically, Florida is a very thin, sandy layer, and
Right.
if you leave that stuff on the ground, as it dissolves into the ground, it's going to end up into your water supply, and of course, well, now you're sprinkling your grass with the water, and if you're on well water, it's also getting down there as well.
Uh, you know, I don't think people think of it that way.
No, it's a very different thought process.
Right. I think people think one potty, one potty. I'll get to it when I get to it. If it dissipates, thank God I don't have to deal with it. But it doesn't just go away.
No,
Okay? It really just doesn't go away. So you go out once a week?
it depends. Some houses prefer once a week. Some houses need it more than once a week if they're big dogs and making a big mess. And
Or a couple of dogs?
yeah,
So you you walk around the yard
hmm
and I guess you do it systematically.
yes. So when I was in the military, I was a bomb technician.
Oh, so I'm going to interrupt you. Thank you for your services.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Anyway, during the military, we did things one way, but after the military, I continued my service, environmental cleanup. And basically, I would spend all day with my head on the ground looking for what could harm anybody. This is the same thing. I'm just looking for stuff that people might step in, and here I can just pick it up and throw it away easily, where there is a different story.
Right.
So for me, walking around following a strict pattern of search pattern to go to people's yard to make sure I can clean up everything, I've been doing it for 25 years.
So second nature to you.
Pretty much, yes.
It's interesting how people come up with ideas, and who am I to talk, because this industry didn't exist.
Right.
So I was a pioneer here. I was a pioneer on Skype and Zoom. So we don't, I guess people say you can't reinvent the wheel, but every so often you come up with something that's not around.
hmm
And I don't know that I've really heard of somebody doing what you do. And I'm not sure that I've heard of people wanting to do what you do. Okay. And my next question is, I know from everything you said so far that when you started this, you got support from your son, because that means he didn't have to do it.
Right.
Okay. Did you get family support when you wanted to start this?
I got a lot of question marks, like, why would you want such a thing like that there? And I referred to the Discovery Show channel talking about dirty jobs, and I was like, well, somebody has to do it.
Right.
It needs to be done. And if somebody else doesn't want to do it, that means they're usually willing to pay somebody else to do it for them. And that's what my hope was.
Okay. So you start this, and for you, it's second nature to spot things on the ground.
hmm
Okay. So if you have a little dog, okay, that's really kind of a big dog. You're right. There's two sides to a big dog,
hmm
but a little dog, that stuff you can't really see, and it's something that you would notice because you can set your mind to what you're looking for.
Right.
So, like, how long? I mean, let's just take a regular quarter-acre lot
Okay.
with a backyard. How long does it take you to do?
So one dog, two dogs, or three dogs?
It's one dog.
One dog. Is it once a week?
Yeah, you're gonna come once a week.
So once a week, if it's a quarter-sized lot, if the grass is somewhat maintained, in other words, not being overgrown,
Right.
I can usually get through there in less than a half an hour.
Oh wow. So the homeowner really probably doesn't even have to be there as long as you have access to the yard.
Correct. Usually, what I do is I send the homeowner a text, let them know I'm on my way. And in some cases, they'll take the dog in. I have one lady who has a German Shepherd. She brings the German Shepherd in when I show up.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. And then the guy who has the Great Danes, he lets them out because they like to say hi and play with me.
You know, again, you came up with something that's new and different, and you found a niche that people don't want to do. And what might take you a half hour would take somebody else an hour or an hour and a half.
It could be, or they may just miss some and later on step in it and darn it.
Okay, so in your opinion, do you collect 90%, 95%, 99%, 100%?
Well, I don't believe anybody's perfect. I'd probably say I get at least 95% or better
Okay.
because I'm very thorough in my search patterns on people's homes.
And it's something that searching on the ground is something that you know, and you probably know it backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Okay. The item that you're looking for is a little different than what you used to look for. Okay. But still, or nevertheless, you go out there to do a job, and because you did that job basically in the military, it becomes second nature for you.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the future for you?
I'm hoping to quit my day job and make this my permanent life. My wife, we both agree that this is a service to provide the community to make it a healthier environment for everybody just by making sure we can keep this all picked up. We believe if you need to serve people some way. And because we love dogs, well, we don't see as much of a service, more to people than anything else. Dogs deserve to have a clean place to go outside, and unfortunately, most people don't have the time, energy, or effort. I mean, a lot of people work way down south. They have to drive for hours down south, come home.
And it's dark.
And it's dark. Yeah.
Right.
Half the year's dark, and the other half of the year's I'm just too tired to go out there and pick it up right now.
Right. I mean, those things make sense. We're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a website?
Yes, we have a website. It's pslscoopers.com.
Okay.
And my phone number is 772-232-5311. You can find us on Facebook, Nextdoor, and Instagram as well.
You know, I say this and I say this all the time. There are DIY jobs and there are DIY don't do jobs. Okay? You decided to do a DIY don't do job for most people. Okay? Why would you want to do this, one? And the time that it would take him is like 1/3 or 2/3 less than it would take you. And I think that time is more valuable for you to spend with your family than picking up poop. Just saying. So I always say, and I'll say it again, use a professional. Okay? It's forgetting how much money, because I normally say it'll cost you 5 times more if you do it yourself, but it'll cost you 10 times less in frustration if you hire someone to do it. With that, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody,
Appreciate it.
check them out, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.